Welcome back to Breaking the Grip podcast. I'm Jamie G and I'm here with Dean the Dark Housley, the new Braveheart Promotions Featherweight champion. Thanks very much for coming through. I ken it's a wee bit of a hassle for you, obviously. You pretty much broke your leg in that fight.
See, to be honest, mate, I didn't realise it was broke until the Tuesday, until I went to the hospital. Thought it was just sore. Do you know what I mean? So I think I was 25 or something, so I started quite late, 24, 25, something like that.
What did you do before that? Did you train in boxing?
No,
nothing?
I always lifted weights and that, but I never done any combat sport or anything. Kind of felt like I've got all these people fooled. Does that make sense?
Fooled in the sense that you're happy or like you're confident?
As if I've tricked them, I've made them think that I believe this when I didn't. Like, you need to believe yourself.
This week's episode is sponsored by Stallion Apparel. Stallion Apparel is a grassroots MMA clothing company. It's headed up by Josh McCallion. Most of you guys will probably already know Josh from the local scenes, from the shows, taking videos and photos from most of your favourite fighters. 10% of the profit generated will be used to support grassroots MMA. Pre-orders are open now. Follow them at stallion.apparel_ on Instagram.
Welcome back to Breaking the Grip podcast. I'm Jamie G and I'm here with Dean the Dark Housley, the new Braveheart Promotions Featherweight champion. Dean, how are you doing, my man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very good. Thanks very much for coming through. I ken it's a wee bit of a hassle for you, obviously. You've pretty much broke your leg in that fight. When did you realise you'd broke it?
See, to be honest, mate, I didn't realise it was broke until the Tuesday, until I went to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? So my mate's my physio, and he basically told me that like they go to the hospital, but I didn't want to, so I went and seen him, and then he's like, you need to go. And just because of how well I was handling it, I thought it was just sore. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I was being a bit of a woman, to be honest, because I was limping about. I was limping about with my dad the next day after the fight, and I was like, mate, I need to get home, this is agony. But
I seen you right after the fight, and did you have ice on it, or?
It was the only said that to me. He's like, you need to go get that checked. I'm like, I'll be alright. Like, it was only a couple of calf kicks, which I was embarrassed of it. I was like, I can't believe how sore that was. Well, it turned out broke my fibula.
Completely snapped. Like.
I don't know what I was looking at. The nurses in the hospital on Tuesday said to me, like, look at this, that's how bad this is, but I didn't know what I was looking at in the actual x-ray, so, but they couldn't believe I was walking for Saturday. Never mind finishing the rest of the fight.
Well, exactly, because it's in the first kick that he landed.
Right away. I did think, like, when he hit me, like, Jesus Christ, man, he hits hard, like, but I didn't think for a second it was broke.
Yeah. I mean, he's a decent. I'm going to bring the video up here, but I mean, he's certainly no mug. Like, they knew that coming from Manchester top team. I was chatting to him like I was chatting to yourself before the show, just to get a wee bit of like info on him, and I watched some of his fights, and he's quite dogged and determined. I knew he would be like somebody that certainly wouldn't give up easily. I don't know if you've seen him after the fight. He was devastated.
I actually did. I seen him, and that's why I didn't care. I went to go and talk to him, and I seen how upset he was, and I just left him. I know what it's like, you know what I mean?
Aye, I can. It's probably the last thing that you want to hear. You just want left alone. You want to play that then, Carl? We'll see it. So it's in, like you said, it's in the first 30 seconds of the fight. The first calf kick that he lands.
Aye, right there.
And what was your, like, how did you feel like planting your foot after it? Was it changing?
You notice I start, like, thankfully I switch in my fights a lot, so I'm comfortable in both stances, but I did think, like, thank God I did that to be able to disguise it, because it was hard, man. It just felt weird, like I couldn't put really any weight of that on it. But again, I didn't think it was broke. I just thought it hit really, really hard.
He's hit you with a sitting plan. Oh no, was that the?
No, there was the first one there.
That was the very first one where he spins me there.
But there was another one that was solid.
Do you feel like he's been like the toughest opponent that you've had so far then, or what do you think?
I know everybody's different. Everybody's like better at other stuff, but because he was so wild in that, like, it was almost harder to fight against. Like, a lot of the boys I train with are so technical in that, so going against somebody that's a bit more like wild in that, it's really hard to like get your timing down, do you know what I mean? And plus he hit really, really, really hard, so aye.
So he's punches as well then, not just the kicks?
Aye, everything you could feel, but he was like, that was kind of his downfall and all, without being disrespectful. I could feel that he was putting everything into every shot. Even when he had me against the fence, he was like turning me with all his energy instead of like
pacing himself.
Like, I've made that mistake myself before. So again, that's probably what makes him so good as well, isn't it? Some people just feel like that, where it's like they're there to kill you, they're there to take you out.
That's it. And was it your first 5-round fight as well?
Aye, and that again, I knew like a few times in my fights I've been like, I need to start doing what I've just said, that I think can be detrimental, because you're like running out of time. 3 threes is nothing, especially when you're in there before you know it's the last round. So knowing how fit I'm at, like, credit to Dylan and his amazing training and part performance, how fit they got me. It's the calmest I've ever felt, because I knew I had 5 rounds. When other folk, that could probably freak them out, like, oh God, I've got another 2 rounds after this. But I was planning to actually pick up the pace in the 4th and the 5th. So I felt great.
Aye, and in the third round, Callum, do you want to ping the third round up? Just play it for the start, I think. You took a wee bit of damage in the third round, didn't you, before the finish, if I remember right? It was landing heavy knees, for what I remember, against the fence.
Exactly. The punches that he throws behind the punches that he throws, none of them really land. They're quite like, I'm kind of rolling well with them. They're quite like glancing shots, but the knee he hit me that I initiated the clinch with, like, that took the wind right out of me. But again, like, the boys I train with, like, they put it on you, like, every day I'm there training with are amazing sparring partners. Nobody's trying to like hurt you or that, but they're putting it into the body and that, so you're used to that stuff. And I recovered, like, again within seconds. Again, credit to Dylan and Pat Performance for having me so fit that I recover so well for these shots.
If anybody's listening and is not sure who he's meaning, he's talking about James Dillon.
Of higher level.
Of higher level, yeah. I mean, he's been mentioned a few times in this podcast, so I'd be surprised if you didn't know who that was. But aye, James Dillon. Have you actually had a chance to watch this whole fight back?
I've watched it a few times. Fair enough, my wee girl, she wants to watch it every night. It makes me feel for her. It's amazing, man.
Do you know what their corner were? This is a start here actually.
They were complaining about. Is that what you were going to say there? Like, he kind of brushed my eyes twice with his fingers.
Right.
And the ref warned them. I never said that, but the ref warned them, and they were obviously annoyed with that. So they're not really hurt. That was a good, you know. That took the wind out of me a bit. But again, I could feel him there. I could feel how much resistance. Weaker he was each round. You know what I mean? Like, he was proper. He was putting everything into everything.
He was quite difficult to keep on the ground. I said that in the commentary as well.
But that's, I mean, I'd studied quite a few of his fights, and he does that. Like, he just stands straight up. And his last fight, he get punished for it. So I thought he wouldn't have done the same thing.
There's me.
But he did. He done the exact same thing again. So it just stands straight up. But he stands and lifts his neck.
Right. And that's just purely down to the fact that you've been studying him as well, that you've realised that he was going to do that.
But again, I didn't think he would, because he'd been caught with it a few times. Like, a few fights he's been in that exact same body triangle standing up, but he's got out it, but his last one he get punished.
So how's he getting out of it there though? Because he's got his fingertips in there. That's what I was saying in the commentary as well. I was like, the fingertips aren't going to save you. You're just getting them squeezed against your neck.
It's a massive credit, like, honestly. Like, that's 3 of my idols in my corner there, man. Like, the 3 of them are amazing, and I'm sure it's the Dylan that's shouting, because I could feel like this isn't quite on. I'm like doing something wrong, and Dylan's like, retract your elbow, and just start you think of that.
You could see Dylan and go forward a wee bit right at the finish. I can see Dylan's left the corner. He's
I see.
He's right there. Aye. You can see the passion as well for your guys, eh?
Oh, honestly, that mate, like, I know as high as a kite after my fight, but I meant every word. Like, every day I train with, especially the 3 of them, like my idols, man. Like, I can't thank them enough, mate. They've totally changed my life.
Aye, so you've got James, Dylan Took, and is it Aaron Oliphant?
Aye, so I was at hit squad with Aaron.
Right.
And we kind of left together, man. He's like, one of my best pals, like a brother, man.
Right, I didn't realise Aaron had came from the
Aye,
squad
aye,
as well.
aye, aye.
Right, aye. So there's been a few then that's left to go to higher level. So, so in the lead up to this camp, we spoke about it on the last podcast, or the one before that with Braveheart Promotions with Heggie. You probably had the worst cauliflower ear I've ever seen. Like,
so
in
before that,
Scottish MMA.
I was right ill. I don't even know what was up with me. I was like in my bed for about 2.5 weeks, like dying. I'm never ill. So then I came back, like, right, good, still get 8 weeks or something like that, plenty of time. Then my ear went, so that was horrific. That had to get slashed open, and so that stopped me like sparring and grappling just in case of infection that for weeks. Then came back for that, like done a week of good training, sparred brilliant, I'm at brilliant, and then
That's the club.
oh mate, honestly God, that was like somebody was hanging off my ear, man. When the adrenaline wore off, honestly I was in agony.
So were you sparring MMA or was that wrestling that made it blow up that day, or was it just an accumulation?
It was a wee bit
weeks and weeks?
cauliflower anywhere, but I was sparring with, funny enough, Alan. And Alan's unbelievable, mate. And it's just like any things. He like hit me a good punch, and it was like right in the ear, and it just. I remember looking at him when he hit me. I remember going like, oh, like wincing, and then it was like right after it, I was like, oh my god, it was that.
Is that 40-10 just like right after that spar with Aaron?
So it was that again. It always happens, doesn't it, in the last round? So it was like the last round, the last minute of the last round that we were doing that day. So that wouldn't have been too long after it.
Because I think it was James that posted it. I seen somebody had it on Instagram first anyway. When I seen it, I thought, didn't he tell me he's going to keep training with that? Like, you're going to get that, you need to get that addressed.
You can see that I'm laughing there, so I've not actually seen it. I knew it was a bit big, but I didn't realise how bad it was. And then by the time I got to the hospital and that, and the adrenaline wore off, I wasn't laughing then. It was agony. 8 hours I was sitting in that hospital like that. Generally sit like that. The weight of my ear was that heavy, it was pulling my ear down, so I had to sit like that, so it was like stopping pulling my ear. Honestly, God, I thought my ear was going to come off.
Is that the first time you've had pain fib cauliflower ear, like, or have you experienced it when you first started?
Well, I had the other ear, and it was like bad. It was like inside my ear, so I had to get that cut out because it was like somebody had their finger in my ear the whole time. It was like I was underwater.
I've got that on my left side. I wonder if that's because that's your shooting side and that's your like passing side, or like wrestling against the fence or whatever. But that's more for like impact.
Aye,
I've got that on inside as well. Aye.
It was unfortunate that, and then literally as I said there, the week after that, I'm alright, brilliant. I can get right back to this, and then my eye went. I was sparring one of my other close mates, Colin Nicholson, and I don't even know what happened. Like the takedown, like one of us was bleeding like a lot. Stood up, man. It was me. Just a big, massive.
Oh, that's right.
Scar on my eye.
Cut, aye.
So then I had to get stitches and that. Oh, it was mental. It was one of the worst camps ever.
Was that in like 2 weeks or a week or something before the fight? It was quick.
2 or 3 weeks. Because I only got to do my last spar, which was the week before my fight, so I had to be quite tame, so I was worried. But again, thanks so much to Dylan and Pat, like they really adapted my training and were like Dylan holding pads for me. That gave me massive confidence. How fit I felt, like Chrissy, like Pat Performance, he adapted my strength and conditioning and that to basically reenact sparring and that, if you would. So again, and it's the best I've ever felt in a fight. So thanks to them, or I'd have been lost. You know what I mean?
And do you think it's your best performance? I come in the fast to that.
I don't know. I'd say my first higher level fight, I was really happy with that. But that there was just like I'd been through a lot and like ups and downs and stuff outside the cage and that, and I just like this. I couldn't believe how calm and collected I was there. I was hearing everything. James, Dylan and Aaron were saying to us, I could hear everything. I was so calm. I was terrified before it, but that's normal. But like in there, I could have went all day. I didn't even feel I was sweating. So the confidence comes from your training, doesn't it?
Aye. So on the previous card at Braveheart Promotions, you fought Seth Milne, which was for me, it was probably my favourite fight maybe that night, between that and Stephen Clancy's fight. But it was a split draw, wasn't it, for that?
Split draw, aye.
How do you feel that went, like in terms of like how the judges arrived at a split draw? Like, what do you think? How do you think they were scoring it? Because when Heggie was on here, he thought that, I think was it Seth won the first couple of rounds and then you dominated the. You want to pull that fight up actually, because I'm struggling to remember exactly how it went. I just remember it being a great fight because we had loads of guys, maybe debut guys, and then I think we had you guys on, and we were like, this is a different quality. Is it Sean? Is it me and Sean Clancy that's commentating on this one, or is it still? Was this the very first show?
I think this is the first show.
Aye, it is in fact. Aye, it's Ross. It's me and Ross that's in it. Aye, but like I heard the you before, but I'd never heard the Seth, and I mind seeing him in this fight and thinking he's good. Like, is that a fight that you would be like interested in?
Well,
fighting again, or?
Definitely, mate. But he's again on the 8th of August. He's fighting one of my close pals, Connor Nicholson.
Oh, is he?
So I feel like Connor's got to destroy him. With all due respect, I've got a lot of time and respect for Seth, but I think Connor's got to go out and put in on an absolute performance. So I don't really see the need to fight Seth when Connor wins. But again, I did want that one back, because I did feel like I won. Like, I don't even like saying that because I've got a lot of respect for Seth, but like I was generally surprised, as you can see at the end of the fight. I thought I'd won. I knew he won the first, I knew the second was close, but I felt I'd won it, and then the third obviously was mine. But again, it's my fault. I can't even complain because it's my fault. I shouldn't be letting it get to the judges, do you know what I mean?
Aye, because I remember, is it no Kieran Reid's in your corner for that
Kieran
one, and
Reid
he's
and
like,
James
you could
Dillon.
see him looking at the before Grace was about to read it, and you could tell he's like, no way.
Aye. Arm again was in my corner.
How would you describe your style then? Is it? I want to say you grappled more in this fight. Is that right? If I'm remembering that right, or was it more on the feet?
I was more on the feet the first 2 rounds, and then it was like again. I always was before I came to high. I was like always preferred to like I was more a striker, and then like James has made us all that we're all martial artists. It's everybody's amazing everywhere. There's no single guy in the gym that's like only good at one thing. And it was actually at the end of the second round that he said to me, he's like you go down and you take him down, like you will finish him. You'll get him out here if you take him down. And that's what I nearly done. He's like, and then after that fight he was speaking to me, he says like, you need to start mixing it up, mate. You're a good striker, but like your grappling just as good, so you'll have more success for like mixing it up and that. So that was a good turning point.
I thought Steph striking looked good anyway. For the first time seeing him, I thought, this guy could strike for sure.
Though, so he surprised me. Like he'd fought Aaron, and Aaron beat him, and so Aaron was helping me a lot for this fight, and we were working on a lot of defending kicks, and he never really threw that much kicks. He came out and he was boxing me about the first round, so that's what I mean. You need to adapt in there, don't you? Though, he's moving. That was good. He was a lot far faster than I thought he would be.
So the fight that he's fighting on Chris Duncan's show is against Aaron, or is that a different show? Connor, sorry.
Connor. So they're up in the 8th of August. He's fighting Connor Nicholson.
So you're going to be cornering him for that then?
Unfortunately, no. My mate that took us in here, he's one of my best pals. It's his wedding that day, so unfortunately I can't make that. So I'll be at his wedding all day. But Connor's unbelievable, mate. So you see how good he is, man.
It's a name I have heard before. I've never been through a higher level for years. It was mostly for Danny's class on the Saturday that I went through. But these are on kind of names that's came about like after that. But I can't remember who mentioned it on the show. Connor's name's been brought up before, I'm sure. It was maybe Stephen Clancy.
Couldn't tell you.
Because Stephen would have been sparring you and Connor and Aaron for featherweight, is that right?
Aye, so they're like the main boys I train with, like Stephen, Clancy, Aaron, Connor. Like it's like spoiled for choice.
It's like the best featherweights in Scotland.
Mate, honestly, like people say that like there's no one easy around and all that, and like there generally isn't. Even the boys that are weight classes below, and it's absolute privilege to be able to train with them.
And what do you think about the Braveheart show then? Do you think for the first fight compared to the last one, do you think there's like a big massive step up in like the production, or like what's your thoughts on the show?
I will, mate, honestly, I'm not just saying that. I know I was the main event, but everybody else spoke to it, like, I felt I was treated like a king, man. Like, I was never stressed, never like, what's going on? Like, some of the promoters and that are like, it kind of leave you to deal with it yourself, and it's can be quite hard, do you know what I mean? Like, try to sort stuff, but everybody was brilliant. Stevie Hedge and that, man, like, was brilliant. I felt no pressure at all. Every time you asked something, it was sorted right away. Like, they're apologising if they hadn't replied to you within like half an hour and that, do you know what I mean? I'm usually phoning them and try to get it sorted, do you know what I mean? So, but no, they were amazing. One of my favourite shows I've ever been on, and all.
I think that's something Heggie and Stevie Ray talked a lot about at the start, was like wanting to be there and like just for the fighters, because it's a common complaint hearing that, the lack of communication for the promoters.
Aye.
I mean, I think they've not made any profit for that show. They've literally spent all their profit for the previous shows to make this show the best, and like, I don't know if I'm being biased, like, but I feel like that's probably the best show I've been to, like, in Scotland anyway. Amateur.
Well, you are biased.
I'm allowed to be though.
Well, even my mates and that were at it, that was brilliant. Like, the atmosphere and that was amazing. Aye, most people at times, my mates have went to shows and that, the way they've been treated and that, they're not been happy, do you know what I mean? So aye, that was brilliant.
Especially winning. Was your family there for you winning?
Aye, I've not really, I've seen my pals and that, they're like my main family, do you know what I mean? My mum doesn't come to it though, because my mum's like, I can't watch that, which is fair enough. Some people are just like that, do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to see my wee lassie fighting and all that, so I totally get it. But my pals are like, been there through, I've had the same pals for years, so they are my family, do you know what I mean?
Aye, your missus, was she just in the house with the wee one then?
No, so my mum was watching the weeing, and my missus was there. Aye, she was in bits after it. She only got me going. You know what I mean? Aye, it was good. It was good. I was saying to her, I was like, you're a curse for you guys to come to my fights, I'm not one man.
Okay. So after your fight, we kind of spoke briefly, and or in fact, I think it was maybe on one of your posts that I commented about doing the podcast, and you were saying about where you were 3 years ago, was it? Compared to now, just the journey that like martial arts is taking you on. What can you tell us a wee bit about that? Like, what, like, the journey's been like for you? Like, why it's like, you know, like, why it's beneficial for young people to get in? Like, what age did you start?
I think I was 25 or something, so I started quite late, 24, 25, something like that.
What did you do before that? Did you train in boxing?
No,
or nothing?
I always lifted weights and that, but I never done any combat sport or anything. Nothing at all, mate, no, so I was just kind of lost. You know what I mean? Didn't really have a purpose.
How did you discover like the gym? What got you into Scottish Hit Squad? Was it Scottish Hit Squad you started?
I was at Hit Squad I started, so I'd always been into fighting and that, like McGregor and stuff like that, like, but I was into it before then like, say, like, always wanted to be the first fighter I ever watched was Nick Diaz, and I absolutely fell in love with him. I just thought he was cool as anything and that, but I never had the actual bottle to like go and pursue it. It was my girlfriend that actually got me to, like, you'll regret this if you never get into it. The funny thing is that the first time I ever went to go to Hit Squad years and years ago myself, and I bawled it at the door and walked away. Like, totally just like thought, like, what you doing? People are going to come in here and you're thinking, who's this guy? And I just totally shit this at myself and walked away.
Well, it is intimidating to walk into a gym for the first time. I can't even remember being like that with Braveheart.
Aye.
And you just have to force yourself in, and then you realise like everybody here is just here to train.
So that's what I say to folk. I always had it with like the same mentality, like, is like, so like some weightlifting gyms, it's like people are kind of staring at you and it's like a horrible environment. Like, MMA gyms are the total opposite. Everybody's so friendly, you can't believe how humble 90% of folk are, and that's amazing.
I think people that don't train are under this impression that you walk in as a beginner and you're sparring 100% against professionals.
Aye.
Like, every night.
Aye.
There's no process to like building up to that level of sparring. Like, obviously that's not the case, but that's what people think. Like, you're literally punching the fuck at each other every single night.
That's what I mean, like the pro classes and that, like, again, the pro classes at a higher level, it's like you need to be asked to come. Do you know what I mean? You can't just show up.
Aye, invitational.
Aye. I say it's protect. It's to save like obviously the fighters' time, and obviously to protect you for yourselves.
Aye. Stevie's told me stories about guys rocking up and they're like just been at the jail and they've come to sparring and James is like, "Are you trained before?" They're like, "Nah, man, we're just at the jail." And he's like, "All right, cool. You got gloves?" "Nah." "Right, there. Right, James, Ray, what's his name? Afterburner, Turner."
Aye.
The three best guys. I think it was like Ray, fucking Danny Henry, and Turner. Right, 3 rounds with them. I think one of the guys fucking spewed on the mats and obviously never came back. But you're only going to get that treatment though when you come in with the wrong attitude. Like you're coming in thinking like you're going to smash like actual pro fighters. You never seen anything like that?
Well, funny enough, I had scored a few times, like because it was in Coatbridge Main Street, like junkies and that would just come in. They would just walk in, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" You're sparring, and junkies would come on, like generally come on the mats, they're like a half bottle of wine and all that, down it for like, you're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Nice, that was mad. A few times boys had to like fucking my mad Neil Laird. I'm to ask him. I'm sure he had to fucking drag one of them out. Because again, they would just walk in, mate, and start like, saying they were the hardest guy in their fucking meeting or whatever, and what a square go you.
A bottle of tonic.
I swear to God, like because it was right in Coatbridge Main Street, they would just walk right in. It was mental.
Did they get to scrap any of there, or they just
No,
out?
unfortunately, I'd have been up for it, man. Know what I mean?
Well, they'll not take their shoes off either. So you mentioned Hit Squad there. Obviously, some big names come out of Hit Squad as well. Paul Craig, Bungard. What was it like training alongside them? Were they just in the gym when you first went along and like took you under their wing, or like what was that like?
Well, that like Bungie and what you call it, Paul, right off the bat were like so good to me, mate. And it was like almost like again, as you said there, like you've got this idea that they've got to be dead arrogant and like do you know who I'm or type thing, and it was the total opposite, mate. Like Paul helped me so much, mate. Paul, like my first few fights, was messaging me all this nutrition stuff and all this advice and proper looking out for you. And seeing me Bungie, they were always there trying to like give you advice, and it was like that should have been coming for your coach, to be fair, but he never really got that. And he like I'm like, why are these guys like they're actual messaging me? Who am I? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a wee guy, and they were always there, and they're still at now, man. It's still I owe them a lot, man.
I've said this before, like, but I compare it to like imagine trying to just like stroll into Lennoxtown or Murray Park and say I'm just want to train with the boys today. Like that's just not happening. But in MMA, you could go into higher level, you could go into the grip house, you go into like any of these gyms, and you could be training with like professional fighters that are in the UFC or PFL or whatever. I mean, Stevie talks about going to TriStar and GSP's not got anybody to train me. Alright, I'll just pair up with you. And like that's, you're just not getting that any other sport. It's
mental. But honestly, like it was almost in disbelief how like, and then like quickly you realise like these guys are like they care. So like they actually care about you, and they're like wanting the absolute best for you. And you can feel that. You can feel it. Doesn't. And you feel that. Paul especially, man. I know him so much, mate. He was. It still is, still amazing ways, mate. Always try to give you stuff and that, like, honestly, a great guy, man.
Aye, I've never actually met Paul, but obviously I know Ross. I've done a few things with Ross. He come along to higher level. Was he roughly at the back of Paul as well then, or were you at higher level first, or was it was Paul one of the first to come?
Paul was one of the first to come, and then it was like me and Aaron, I'm sure. Ross was there. Ross was always in Hit Squad, and I was there as well.
Aye, because he spoke about you in the commentary like you were a wee brother,
Ross was good, man. Ross was brilliant. I was buckle listening to that commentary. He's like, I haven't even got to hide. I'm going to be biased the next one.
I know, because I was getting criticised in the first two shows for being too biased towards the Braveheart guy. So I said to them, right, this time I'm going to try and no be biased at all, and just do it as professional as possible. But then as soon as you got the choke,
yes, brilliant. That's amazing.
Brilliant. So in your post, well, what I noticed on your Instagram as well is that you shared something that you're 3 years sober. Can you tell us a wee bit about like the journey with that? Like what was your life like prior to that?
Well, I had a bit of a mad, rough childhood, and like before I said, like my wee ma was amazing. Like my ma was like my idol. She done everything she could, but it's one of the things that's like me where you're brought up, like, instead of how you're brought up. Does that make sense? So I had a twin who was like, I don't know, he like hated me. Like people would exaggerate, like, oh, like, hang he did every day, like he bullied me, man. And then so that kind of messed with me a wee bit. And then as I got older and that, and like I don't know, I was just like drinking a lot, try to forget about stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I end up drinking like to other stuff, and I end up doing that near enough kind of every day. And then
every day.
It was like get a hold of me, man, like bad.
So were you not having a job then or anything? At that
No,
point,
I couldn't, mate. No, so that's what I mean. So you almost like normalise it, like you do something, you have, like, you know what I mean, like stuff for the weekend, and you'd be like, what am I got to do? Throw it away, and then that before you know it, it's like midweek, and you're sitting in your cell with your face, and I'm hiding it from my girlfriend and that, and she obviously started clicking on. She's no daft, and I was just in a total rut, and then I realised one day, like, this needs to stop. Thankfully that turning point was like I was training MMA before I had my wee lassie, but I was still kind of doing that as well, do you know what I mean, and like hiding it for folk, and had my wee lassie, and I'm like, right, this needs to stop. I need to change for her and for myself, do you know what I mean, because can't make her happy if I'm miserable, do you know what I mean. So that's basically that, mate.
Aye, and that was the turning point for you when your wee lassie was born.
Aye, just like I want her to look at me like, because I never had a dad, I never knew my dad growing up, do you know what I mean? So I wanted her to like be like, as I said, like, because I was terrified of my brother, and I always wanted somebody to be there for me. So I, like, don't get me wrong, my mum was, but it's your mum, it's not really what you mean. And you always see, like, growing up in my areas and that, like, people had their cousins or brothers and that, and I'm like, I want to be that person to somebody else where they can go like, I've got him. Does that make sense? So when I had my wee lassie, I wanted her to be like, that's my dad. No, God, that's my dad. You know what I mean? Being out for 4 or 5 days, coming home and like, aye. So I'm like, nah, I knew if I had her, I had to stop.
Aye, and you said off camera, your wee lassie. In fact, was it on camera actually? About his wee lassie like loves to watch the fight.
I'm no exaggerating, mate. It was like a week and a half ago. Every night, because I always get the UFC in the telly. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And every single night, she's like, Dad, I want to watch your fight. And I'm like, I'm nearly greeting.
What did you say? So she's 3 then?
She's 5.
She's 5, right?
Aye.
And they're brilliant at that age.
Oh, amazing, mate. She's my best wee pal, honestly. It's amazing. I'm proud of myself, one thing, that's what I mean. Like, one thing I thought I would never be is actually proud of myself. I'd kind of like won fights in that 4 and like kind of thought I'd had people fooled. I know it sounds daft, but like Doolin and all that kept trying to like reinforce it, and I owe them my life. Like him, Dylan, are not always there talking to us after it. Like Stephen Clancy, Sean Clancy, they know about all this. And like wee Connor, like they were always there trying to help me, but like you kind of felt like I've got all these people fooled. Does that make sense?
Fooled in the sense like, that you're happy or like you're confident,
like as if like I've tricked them. I've made them think that I believe this when I didn't. Like, you need to believe yourself. Right. And one of my mates was talking to James and said that to him. He's like, when will we start actual believing? He's like, and he's saying like the way we all do, and he's like, well, that'll come one day, and it will. And it sounds daft because it's just a wee amateur belt, but it's like, it was the first time in my life of like, I can actually do this. Like, I've done something where like nobody can deny that. Do you know what I mean? And and then I took that home with my wee lassie, like how much that meant to her. It's just, it was mad.
Right. And it was a legit opponent. It's not like, you just fought like a can or anything. You fought like a legit fighter, about the same kind of amount of fights. Manchester top team, like one of the biggest gyms in the UK.
So that's what I mean. I've never really had easy opponents like that, and I've never wanted that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be sound disrespectful. One of the boys I did fight, I don't want to name, like, and he wasn't really on the same level as, and I broke my horn, and then I was out for months. So what the hell? What did that gain me? I fought somebody that wasn't on my level, and then I was out for months anyway. So that actually was detrimental to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I knew myself, I was like, I shouldn't have been fighting him anyway.
Yep.
So I honestly, I meant everything I said. I know I was as high as a kite in that interview, but doing that, I've they've saved my life, mate. Because a few times, like for like the last fight, like the bad decision, and then before the Seth fight, I'd get submitted quick, and I'd been going through a lot. I was kind of still, my head was all over the place doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, and like letting myself and my family down, and I was ready to just gear up. Like, what am I doing? And I like doing and that were like messaging us or making sure people are checking up on us, and you don't forget that stuff, because it would have been easier to just forget about me, do you know what I mean?
But he's got a gym for like 100 members or something, so
Aye, and I'll never forget that, like messaging us and that, and I swear, like that's what I mean, like I'd go to the grave for any of the guys, like, because if it wasn't for them, I'd be back to doing my old nonsense, do you know what I mean?
do you feel like that's totally past you now then? Is it just
100%,
like,
it doesn't even cross my mind now, definitely no, does 100%. I owe them too much to let myself down, because it's letting them down, do you know what I mean?
do you not feel like the after buzz after training is like better than
100%.
drugs anyway?
That's what I mean. I'm an addict at heart, man. So it's stuff like that. Like, and I try to say to folk, like, you can't describe these like the buzz, even if they're sparring. Because I think of it that like Friday night, it's easy to sit in the house, have a takeaway and watch telly. I'm getting to train with the absolute best guys. That's terrifying, especially sparring with them. Do you know what I mean? So after every sparring session, I'm like, brilliant. I'll do this to the day I die. I'll do it to somebody have said that awkward talk with me, like, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. 45, what do you mean?
There's definitely like after training, like me and Zora just sitting on the edge of the mat, everybody's like, you're off knackered and that, but there's like that again, like almost like, I was going to say like loving, that's not the right word, but you can like that sort of feeling where you just feel like such a team, and
that's what I mean. Like, so where I came from, that like that's just harder for me than fighting. So like I can only like talk and open up when I'm like buzzing. It's like after training, like after a fight or that. And I like the amount of times, like, say you finish training at, like, especially in the morning classes, you'll finish at, I don't know, 12:30. Before you know it, it's 1:30. You've just been sat, as you said, sitting speaking about everything, training. So like I've learnt so much for like the wee 15-20 minute periods after the session where you just kind of rehearse what you go on. And Dylan's not telling us to do that. We're just like kind of do it ourselves. Obviously he wants us to do it, but we sit and do that, and then you end up talking about other stuff and like stuff that's going on in your life and that. And honestly, it's like, I'm no joking, like the boys in that gym are my absolute brothers, and they've saved my life, man. I genuinely mean that. Like, it's amazing. It's the best thing I've ever done, starting higher.
that's great to hear.
Do you want to move the mic just a little bit
Me?
away from the gym? Yeah. Just like that, yeah.
Am I too loud? Like,
You're just.
is it just for the camera?
I'm going to
right.
you're talking over it.
Alright, sound, no problem at all. Right, ready to go?
Good.
Oh, cool. So, Dean, what's next for you then? Anyway? Do you feel like you're ready for pro, or like, obviously, didn't I say anything that I wouldn't want you to give anything away if James isn't like organised anything like that yet? But like right now in your mind, do you feel like maybe a couple of more, or do you think?
Well, again, like I'll do whatever James wants me to do. Like, as I said, I'd literally walk through fire from him if you tell me. So I've not really spoke to him. I've unfortunately not really had the chance that much, because again, the other boys are fighting, and again, I said their priority. Like, I don't really want to get and start talking about myself yet. Do you know what I mean? But whatever he wants me to do, I'll do it. I'm happy with whatever he wants. But I just need to see how long I'm out with this leg. I know, unfortunately.
How long do you think you're going to be?
Well,
is it going to be like 6 months?
6 to 8 weeks, but they said with like the severity, it might need surgery. So I've got the hospital on Friday, so hopefully I don't need surgery. But again, I can't tell you anything until this Friday. So
Aye, is it your lead leg?
my left leg, aye.
Aye, so you're going to be getting kicked all the time and training on that.
That's
calf
what again,
as well,
like James said, when you come back and all, like, give this the respect it deserves and be super like careful with it, because he's like, that can't go again. You don't want that weakness, do you know what I mean?
Aye, exactly, aye. And that would be nothing worse than sitting in the house for all that time and you finally get back and then look at Conor. Like what happened with Conor McGregor, look what happened with him, like finally get back and then his knee went. You think, I think how shite you would feel after sitting it for that long. Because it does play on your mind a wee bit when you're like I don't know in terms of MMA, but like if you're missing training for a while, like it does affect your mental health. You start to think like, oh, can I come back? Like,
again, that's what I mean. Like, even though I won that fight, like, if that was me before, like I'd have already been losing my mind. I'm usually like, well, I'd be right back in the gym, say the Monday or the Tuesday, right, even if I've been fought. But like, I mean, discipline's in different ways. I always thought discipline was just like throwing yourself through the grinder all the time, but it's no. It's being able to sit back and relax. And Dylan said that to me. He's like, you need to be able to accept and be able to sit around when stuff like this happens and that. And it's again the first time I've ever been able to sit at peace. I'm just buzzing still. That sounds bad. I'm like, message him going, is that bad? I'm still buzzing. He's like, of course no. He's like, it's a big achievement you've just done.
He'll be loving it too, though. That these guys are, especially because he kens your background as well, and like martial arts has gave you that now instead of. He'll be buzzing as well. James totally loves his guys. He just devotes his life to martial arts. That's
what I mean. I couldn't, but like. It's what I said. It's like it's not just in the gym; it's outside the gym. And he's a saint, man. Honestly, he do anything for Andy. Like if you see you just show interest in this sport, like I've seen him like sitting 10-15 minutes after the class, like with pure like raw beginners and answering questions at, and I've never ever felt like I'm annoying him. Do you know what I mean? He'll sit there and talk to you and help you through anything. Like some folk you can kind of feel like they're like, right, this is like, can I go? You know what I mean? He'll honestly to help me through anything. All of them would, mate. Honestly, every single one of them. I've never met a bad person in that gym, man.
So what do you think's like long term for you then? Like what do you think you would do after fighting? You've not got that
I'd love to definitely like. I'll be in a gym to the day I die, so like coaching or whatever and helping folk and try to stop people going down the path that I did. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger, so that's the hard thing is, I know a lot of folk, if let's say they're really young and they're really talented and they get in and they start thinking they're missing out on what I done. Does that make sense?
Right.
And they start thinking like, oh, I'm missing out on all these parties, all this stuff, and maybe they want to get back away. As I was lucky enough to realise that you're not missing out on anything. All the stuff you were proud about that you were doing when you were younger, I'd be mortified if my wee lassie found out about it now. Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing. I'd like to try and stop young guys like chucking training to end up drinking and become scheme famous, if you will. Because I've trained with a few. I didn't want to name them. A few boys for the old gym that were like there, and yet it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when they were getting to the UFC, like so young, so talented, and then you just never see them again. Next minute you see them in pictures like out there not, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you ruined that, you know what I mean?
What I was going to ask you, see, like when you were partying and that, how many folk that you partied with back then, like come and support you now and what you're doing?
Oh, next to what I'm still like a few boys like they feel it up. Wishy Craig Nuke, I was really pally. Like they kind of knew what I'd been going through and the life I had and that, and could relate to them. And don't get me wrong, there was loads of boys that I used to kick about with that I don't hear from at all anymore, but there's still a good few that they were at my fights, and they're my absolute idols, man. Like them, like shared a lot of pain and that through, like Mikey Dobbin, Danny Kane, fucking Dale Collins, like all that whole crowd. Sorry if I forgot any names, voices. But like, so the people that come and support me, like, they're my absolute brothers. That's what I say. Like, you saying your family come, they are my family. Like, all of them.
Do you think that you've been like an inspiration for some of them to get like involved in anything like martial arts or sports or whatever?
Funny enough, one of my really close pals, Laurie Kelly, he trains with us now, and he was like me. He was probably worse than me. And he's the same, doesn't drink of that anymore, and he's in higher all the time now. So a few of my mates have said that to us, and it's like, where I was like, I inspire you, man, like who the fuck am I, do you know what I mean? And but then it's like my missus, and that, she's one of my biggest fans, and she's always saying that, she's like, you don't realise like how inspirational it is to like see what you've been through, and to see what you're like now. She's like, you just need to give yourself credit. And I'm like, but still, like, people looking up to me, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. But probably, even like probably Stevie and Paul Craig or whatever probably still feel like that as well, like the imposter syndrome.
Aye. Oh, 100%, I've got that big time. no as bad now, like, again, for like, I can't thank like Dylan that enough. Like Dylan doesn't get enough credit that he deserves, man. That guy's an absolute gem of a guy. He's helped me massively, man.
Aye, Dylan took for anybody that's listening to that. So is Dylan in the gym every day? I take it is.
Aye,
I take
Dylan's
it
always there. He's brilliant, mate. Aye, he's again, like in the background, like you kind of need people there that know how to like handle you. Do you know what I mean? Like every fighter's different. Some people are really calm, some people are really stressed. Like I can get quite emotional in the back and like a bit part, and between Aaron, Dylan and Dylan, like they just kept me level headed and that. I've never been so calm before a fight. Like I was more calmer in the changing room than I was when I was in my house. I was in the house with the vegan, like, oh no man, know what I mean? Like pure doomsday is coming. And then I was saying I was with them, they just know how to talk to you, mate.
Think of the experience between them.
Honestly, it's nothing short of genius the way they were with me in the back. Like I was so calm. And again, it's like the whole arena, you can hear everybody going mad, and the only people I can hear are they three.
Aye.
Like I could only hear they three, and you could hear every word they're saying.
What was it like walking out into the arena? Because I think that was like the biggest crowd that Braveheart's had so far. By
250 tickets.
Aye, by an extra 250. Like, what did it feel like when you went out? The problem is that the crowd was kind of split up, wasn't it? It would have looked so much busier if it was like one stand.
Aye.
But believe it or not, it was like actually 250 tickets more than the Rufus Halls. So I don't know what you thought like when you came out, but
I don't know. Like, again, I'm so like when I'm walking, I'm so locked in. Like I don't know if you remember my walkout tune gets stopped, and I was like kind of like, oh no, and it was like again Dylan's like just like
that was like a technical
aye. And that gave me worked up again. Dylan started talking to me, just calmed me right down. But when I'm walking out, I'm just like so dialed in, like I'm not really paying attention. But like when you walk out and you hear like my tune started and everybody started cheering, you're like, oh fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's loads of a lot of people here, but it was brilliant. What an atmosphere. It was like again something say like you're so locked in and that, and it wasn't like I'd submitted the boy, and then it was like kind of everything just comes alive, and it was just like it was deafening. It was brilliant.
Aye, you get like that sense of relief, like that's it done finally.
I've
been thinking about this for weeks and weeks.
Aye, and I thought I was going to do it now, how I was going to celebrate, but then just how much I'd been through and like, the ups and downs, the bad decisions, the stuff I felt I should have done more, how much I'd been through, nearly relapsing, and I fallen out with my missus and that, like been through a lot, and I knew what I wanted to do. I was going to run in the cage and that, and I just like, broke down. I just got overcome with emotion. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking about that. Like, oh, I was so grateful. Like, I was like to pay back like Dylan and that, just for like how much they helped me. That was like the main thing. Like, I really wanted to pay them back.
Aye. When I looked at your Instagram as well, we spoke about your daughter earlier on as well. You've got your daughter training BJJ.
Aye.
Is that like? Do you like? I take it you just like roam her in the house, and you're like eventually right. Come on, I'll take you into a proper class.
No, well, she'd always watch me watching it, and she'd like started realising that I'd done it. Do you know what I mean? And she said, "I was like, do you want to come train with your dad?" And she's like, "Aye," but I can't do that because I want her to be able to look after herself, like, because I'm not always got to be there. Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons I want her to be able to look after herself.
Aye, jiu-jitsu definitely for like if they end up on their back or whatever. Got a triangle or a armbar or whatever. Aye, that's class. Is it higher level that you're taking her to?
Aye. She loves it, man. She absolutely loves it. Aye, but again, she did need to start athlete. She was getting, because she's really quite shy. She'll like talk away in that, but like when she's getting told to do stuff, she'll know. But again, like Chris Morris takes a class, and then sometimes when he's there, Dylan takes it, and they two have helped her massively, mate. Remember, like Chris basically put me at the side and basically said that like she was like not really paying attention to that, and if it was anything I could speak to her about. And after I spoke to her, like she's only 5, and like I basically said what Chris had said, and ever since he said that to me, the difference there, even in school, that's what I mean. Like, she's 5, it's like, it would get easy to be like, oh, she's just away, and like Chris pulled me to the side and went, I think she'd say this there, and I'll never forget that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, other teachers would be like, it's just away. But Chris Morris, like, helped us massively, and she absolutely loves Dylan too. The two of them are amazing, mate. like the proper great teachers even for the weigh-ins.
Aye, and Chris has just won a great performance in Cage Warriors there, in that last fight. I don't know, you've not got that prepared to by Chris Morris. So in Cage Warriors, we maybe get flagged for posting Cage Warriors right enough, but was a ground and pound or a submission? I think it was a finish though, eh?
Finished the boy, aye.
Joshua on Wardy. That was the most recent.
It's the most recent one, aye.
Rear naked choke round 3. Cage Warriors.
I think that sounds right, aye. What we like for time, by the way?
50 minutes. 50 minutes.
5-0. Oh, that's alright then, aye. We'll just a quick go into this and then we'll do the...
Yeah, I think, is this it here? Oh, well, not him. David Dawkins. Well, not David Dawkins. Walter Dawkins. This one.
So I take it Chris is like full time with higher level now, because he used to just come up and do his camps at higher level.
He's up here all the time. He's again another great guy. Like, so humble. That's what I mean about all these guys, like him, Dylan, Mark, Ewan, both Clancy's and that. Like, you wouldn't know who they were unless you knew who they were. Does that make sense? Right. Like, they're just the nicest folk in the world, and they ain't for Andy, man. But that meant a lot. The fact that he'd basically pulled me to the side about my wee lassie, and what he said is like helped him massively. And she's so much more confident now, you know what I mean?
Aye. 5-year-old is young, like my lad is 5. Well, he's 4 in fact, but he's going to be 5 this year. And he was going to Featherweight training, but he just was not paying attention either. I just feel like maybe too young, but that's class if that has helped and it's made the difference. Is Chris like a grappler then?
Again, mate, it's like there's everything in the gym's so good at everything. Like, like if he gets you down, you're not getting a mafia man. Do you know what I mean? But striking with him's definitely no fun either. So,
What weight is Mora?
I'm sure he fights at 77. Aye.
So he'll be getting rounds with Clancy, Sean Clancy, and who else is welter in the gym actually?
I don't know if I could. Well, Mark and that are like basically like round about that size, so they're like kind of in him, Lorenzo, Mark, Sean. They're always like training together, and I've been getting up even with my leg just to watch and see some of these guys training together. It's different level.
Some of Lorenzo and Stevens runs that James posts
are brilliant. Aye.
Just chaining like moves. It's not even submissions. It's just like some of the wrestling exchanges, then into the jiu-jitsu, and like they just both seem like a nightmare to control. I've never trained by either of them. I've rolled with Sean before, but never with Stephen or Lorenzo. But Lorenzo's a name that always pops up on the podcast as well. Like that everybody speaks highly, and it's good to see he's back. He's been away for the gym for a while, I think.
He was ill for a wee bit, but he's in all the time again.
He just got his brown belt.
I did. I was the name on her, man. He's unbelievable.
Robbie Dunlop, do you ken Robbie? He used to spar at higher level. He said like Lorenzo's the best in the gym for MMA grappling.
I'm sure I seen a post like years ago, for like way before he was at higher, and it was the guy that gave him his blue belt. Said that he wanted to give him it like basically right away, but he couldn't for basically how long he trained. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like that. But he said that he couldn't believe how good he was, like instantly. Like
it'd be great to see him. Is he coming back to fight in the PFL? Like, because he was booked to fight, I think, and then the fight cancelled or whatever. And
I think it was visa issues or something.
Because he had a great start. He won shotgun and bar for the at the Hydro.
Amazing. I was against a really, really good guy too. Lorenzo was amazing. He's still with PFL, so hopefully see him in there.
It'd be good to see him back in. Aye. Brilliant. Well, let's go through some of your sponsors then, because it's good to obviously give them a wee bit credit as well. So the first thing I was going to ask you is Pat Performance. You've mentioned him loads in the podcast. Can you tell us a wee bit about him and like how he's helped you?
Well, he's amazing, mate. I was always one of the guys that I just thought like, strength and conditioning was just a lot of shite, to be honest with it. Do you say a better phrase? And I feel like I've been working with him, and he's trained MMA for years and all, so he knows the sport. And he's just like, I always thought it would be like just too much because we've got a heavy schedule at higher levels. I mean, Dylan's amazing, like, you know, like get that alone is like enough, but like the strength and conditioning, what I've seen everybody say, it's like takes you to that next level. But he does his like your plan where it's like you send him your schedule, he'll adapt it round your training, so you're never sore for training, you're never missing like MMA, like because he always says that, like how many people would be like saying that like no, like I'm secondary. A lot of these strength and conditioning guys will be like no, like mine's just for like you need to like you need me type thing. He's like, this is always secondary, never ever miss one of your main classes for like strength conditioning. But like again for that camp, he knows when to bring it up, know when to tone it down and that. And I'd be arguing him because I was always want to be like throwing myself through the grinder, and he's like, no, you've done enough. Like, and it's again the best I've ever felt. Every fight I've ever been with him, I've been like I can do more, but that one there, like I'm like, oh, I'm no exaggerating, I could have done 10 rounds. So he's been by far like the best thing I've ever done is start working with him. He will be, I know that for a fact, he'll be the biggest name in the country for strength conditioning. And again, he's like the only who generally cares about his guys. Do you know what I mean? He's generally cancelled full sessions with me. He's like, no, you're tired. You don't need this. Do you know what I mean? He's amazing.
Brilliant. And where can guys see him then? Part Performance on, just search for that on Instagram.
It's on Instagram, mate. That's his main thing. Aye, he's brilliant. Again, he's like no one of the folk that you message him, he will reply. Do you know what I mean? A lot of these folk, like they give you a plan and then you never hear from them. Do you know what I mean? Aye, he's amazing. Aye, honestly, I can't explain to folk enough that like how much better, and then your confidence comes for that. Do you know what I mean? Like how fit and strong and that am I.
Especially if you feel like you've put everything you could possibly put into the fight. You're not going into the fight thinking, oh, I wish I'd maybe done that. If you've literally done everything that you could have, then it's definitely going to help your confidence for the performance. So the other one that you've just recently got as well, Celtic Combat.
Celtic Combat, I said I need to thank him for that. It was the put that together, and I messaged him. The guy's brilliant. I've been speaking to him basically every day if I've been sponsored with him. He's brilliant, mate, and the stuff he sent me is outstanding. And again, like it's Celtic Combat. He's actually his own website, but you can get him on his Instagram as well. But he's brilliant, mate. The stuff's like high quality, really like so cheap compared to like other stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like you could end up spending an absolute fortune on some of the stuff, but his stuff's high quality. It's as cheap as you'll get.
So it's like rash guards as well then?
Aye.
Nice.
Balaclava today, he sent me a balaclava, mate. I was absolutely buzzing. I was meant to walk out with that and I left it in the house. I was gutted. Aye, stuff's amazing.
It's the balaclava, is that for the street fights?
Well, aye. Aye, the guy's absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy working with him, man. He's brilliant.
Well, there you go. I mean, if they're reaching out to you and wanting to work with you, they obviously see something in you as well, mate. So I hope that helps your confidence as well.
It does, mate. It does. I'm totally blessed, mate. Honestly. But my other sponsor is Load Ledger. He's actually one of my pals. I'd like saying like I've been through stuff. I'd lost two of my close pals. So one of my pals that passed away was Andy Wilson, and this is his best pal, Kevin Fagan, and he's with Load Ledger, and he ended up speaking to me about sponsorship, like he was saying to me, and he's like the support he gives me is unmatched. It's like I can't believe how generous he is to me. But obviously that was through my connection with my pal that I'd unfortunately lost. So I'll never forget that. Man. He's helped me. So I would generally wouldn't be able to pursue it as much as I would without his help.
Aye. So are you training full time then? Is that
no,
like,
I work. I've got a full time job, mate. But I'm 4 on, 4 off. So I basically train all my days off as well. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. It's not easy when you're working full time.
Oh, isn't it, mate?
Do you think you would have to change that when you do go pro, or like what?
I don't know, because it's like
this
folk in the UFC that still get full time jobs and that. Unfortunately, it's not really a thing for money. But like, I'm fortunate to be in a position where I've got a decent job that's really good to me for like an understanding like the stuff from my ear and eye and that. Like my boss, like Kevin Shields, I need to give him a shout out. He's brilliant. He's always been really good to me, and I'm really thankful with how understanding he is with what I do. Because a lot of people could get annoyed with like coming in and like, oh mate, I can't do such and such goes in my ear, but I owe him a lot. Kev's been amazing with me. But
Does he come to your fights?
No, I don't know, but I think he would. I think he probably would. But if two of the boys from my work came for that fight there, because it was Fife and that's like where they're from. But it's brilliant. But I'm lucky enough that I don't really need to worry about that. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like the training I can get in and through my work, I'm juggling it well. I never used to. I used to like just train myself into the ground, but again, for working with partner performance and having a bit more confidence and speaking to Dylan, that like they rein you back. One of my problems was I was trying to get noticed when I first started going to higher, but like totally just never stop them. And I think I was impressing folk, and I turned around when I started talking to Dylan, he's like, you need to do less, no more. I'm like, fuck, I'm just trying to do that, trying to impress you, and you're like, I know what I mean, and that's what I mean, like, that's how good a coach is, that he'll say to you, no, rein it in, him and Pat performance. I've never known anybody like the two of them, man, they're brilliant.
I take it he's he'll be communicating with James as well, then it'll be like almost part of James's team then.
Well, I don't know if it was much that, but he does tend to talk to James and that, because he's got a good few boys at higher level. Pat and Kai Sweeney being one of the first people that jumped to my mind, and he definitely having to like, tell him when to and when not to.
And congrats to Kai, he just retained his title again, BMF title again at the weekend.
He did, aye, Kai's unbelievable.
Some talent,
He's only 18 or something. And again, one of the nicest guys in the world. I definitely wouldn't be that humble when I was 18 and that good, you know what I mean? He's amazing.
It'll be interesting to see. We're desperate to get him on Braveheart Promotions as well. For welterweight, it'd be cool to see him fight the guy that Tristan lost to for the welterweight belt. That would be a good fight to make, yeah. Is that us covered all your sponsors then, Dean, or was there anybody that we've missed? Just higher level, obviously, on your shirt there. We've covered everybody else, I think, yeah. Aye. Well, mate, thanks very much for coming. I appreciate you obviously getting a lift through. You've come through with a broken leg. It's been great. We're excited. Great to have the champion in. Will we get to see you defending it, hopefully? Right,
I hope again. I don't expect to Dylan, but I'd love that.
Is there anybody featherweight that you would want to?
I don't really waste my time with like seeing who's what rank that, especially amateur, because it's like that doesn't really mean anything. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So I just wait like to do it, and that's it. Like, whoever you want me to fight, I'll fight. I don't need to even know their name, their record, or anything. Like, the answer's always aye. Do you know what I mean?
Champion mindset.
It has to be, man. I mean, the second you start going like, oh wait a minute, like you've already lost. Do you know what I mean? It's no point just fighting folk that you know you beat. Like every day I fight, I'm terrified of. That's what I want. Somebody that like, makes me want to get out of my bed, like do that extra round. And you need to be scared of your opponent, because then that's what makes it so good, and also which makes you train harder. If you know you're fighting somebody knowing your level, I don't understand why you'd ever want to do that.
Aye, like you say, you're putting the training and you're levelling up as well when you're like trying to push it as much as you can.
Well, again, I'm lucky enough to every time I go to spar, I'm fighting the folk there. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, Jesus Christ, every single round you've got somebody they're just getting the absolute best of you. And
they guys are getting better at the same time, so mate, you're never really...
It's scary, honestly. Aye,
it's going to be exciting to see what the future holds for higher level as well, with the youngsters coming through, like you said, Kai Sweeney, your boy Connor as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And again, good to see what's going to happen in the future with yourself, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.
Well, thanks very much for coming on, pal, and thanks everybody there for listening. Cheers.